Hey there, it's Dr. Nadia here. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk About Sales. Today I want to continue on about the series about building your sales team. A lot of times there are lots of questions around when should I hire someone, how many people do I need, what type of salesperson do I need, or people, because you may require more than one. How do I compensate them? And so I started doing a series on just touching on some of those different points. So today I want to talk about, at what point do I build my team? Now, this is something, that's actually, I won't say near and dear to my heart, but it's a big mistake that I made early on in my business. I was doing a lot of stuff, and it was a timing thing, I believe. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing to build team, and I was not prepared because there were lots of things I had not thought through when building my team, which just set me up for a big whack, right? So it's really important to me to help entrepreneurs better understand this process and to not be afraid of it, right? Because you need help. And, there's that time when you have on your superwoman cape and you're out there doing things, and I know you're amazing and you're magical, but the truth of the matter is that when you're building your vision, you need support. And that support can look a number of different ways. So just because you have a team doesn't necessarily mean you need employees or, whatever. It could be temporary. So you can have contractors. There may be consultants that you bring in. So it could look a number of different ways. But here's some things I want you to consider before you build your team, particularly your sales team. But I'm focused mostly on your sales team. And I understand that you need more than just your sales team. So one of the things that, I want you to think about is, where are you right now in your business? And what I mean, are you in that startup phase? Are you in that, we got things steady phase, but now we're in that growth phase? Or are you in that scaling phase? Like, each of these phases are very different, and they may require different skill sets within the different phases. So a lot of times in the startup phase, we wear all the hats. We're the CEO, we're the visionary, we're the implementer, we are the salesperson, we are the customer service person, we're IT, like a lot of those hats we wear. And then, of course, as we continue to grow, we start to delegate some of those pieces. And I want you to get this. It's not necessarily about whether or not you're good at sales. That's not what this is about. It's about when you get to that point in your business when you really need to bring in support. So sometimes in the startup phase, it is about, I'm not that great at sales. I've never done this before. I'm not really sure how to convey my value, how to have those conversations. Do I even need to have conversations? Like all of those, pieces that you think about, it may help a lot of times to get sales training or even hire a sales coach. And then you can look at whether or not you need an actual salesperson to support you in that role. A lot of times then you have to look at volume. Where are you volume-wise in your business? And then is it, best for you to continue with sales? So sometimes people still do their conversations. Or as you start to look at where your time is best spent. And when I say that, so a lot of times, again, in the beginning, it definitely is, because sales is obviously a revenue generating activity. But one of the things that happens, especially when you get to that growth phase, is that yes, sales is revenue generating. That's why you want someone, if it's not you, someone to continue in that. But your time, you may feel like you're being pulled in multiple directions. So what that could look like is you're doing more speaking. You're out speaking a lot more, or you're just doing more visibility activities, whatever those activities look like for your business. You're doing more client stuff, right? So whether you're a coach and you have more clients, so you have more coaching sessions, or you're a consultant and you're working more and more with more clients, so it's demanding your time in that way. And you're like, okay, wait a second. I need to really make sure that the revenue generation piece of my business continues. So then you look at, okay, great. I may need to bring someone in. The other piece, so when you look at the phases, I want you to also look at how your business is structured. And I get this question a lot because people come to our agency and they're like, Dr. Nadia, we want to hire you guys to support us. And then we have to have a conversation and looking at these different areas to make sure that it's a good fit. Like, it makes sense for them to then go through the process of onboarding and training and all of that when you outsource, you just don't just toss it over and say, great, have a great life, great. There are some steps that take place in that. And so the other piece is looking at the structure of your business in terms of what does the volume look like? And, when you're getting strategy sessions, is it kind of like a slow, consistent, steady trickle throughout the year? Do you have massive volumes at certain times of year? Do you have an event? Do you have a tour? Do you have online launches that you have mapped out for the year? All of these play a key role in whether or not you need to hire someone, and whether or not you need to hire someone on a consistent basis or project by project. So what does that mean? It could mean that depending on how your business is structured, you hire a salesperson or you outsource and you have sales support just for specific events. That could be your annual event. It could be your launches. It could look a lot of different ways depending on how your business is structured. But you don't necessarily need someone that's consistent throughout the year that you have, whether it's an actual employee on payroll or someone that you have on retainer, because they're there to support you every single month, right? Or you could say, you know what, that is the way my business is. It's more consistent. I don't necessarily have big launches, or you could have a combination of the two. So you have to look at, do I need this person or persons on a consistent basis? So sometimes I'll pop in and support clients, and it's only for their big events. So we pop in because they need extra hands. So they may pull in a team of consultants that can support them in that sales role for their event, and then they knock it out the park, and then they're good. They can handle the volume throughout the year, but they really want to make sure they get that support during something, a big launch or their event. So those are things that I want you to take some time to think through. Where are you right now in your business? What phase are you in? And then thinking about, based on that and the volume, how many people would you need? Sometimes you only need one person. Sometimes you may need more, particularly when you're looking at whether or not or when you need them throughout the year. So again, thinking about your business, where you are you startup, growth phase, scale, right? Do you have regular launches throughout the year? Sometimes that also requires you to do some planning, right? So you go into Q4 once you start really thinking about planning. And then, do I need multiple people at certain times consistently, or just on a project by project basis? So those are some things I want you to think about as you're thinking about, okay, when do I bring someone in? Is now the time? Who is that person? What does that look like? What do I need them to help me with? Because just because you need sales support does not mean you need it all the time. And it could just be that you can have that arrangement with, you know what, I just need you here, here, and here. Here's what that looks like. Let's map that out. And then that person you can get them trained up to speed so that they can pop in and support you at the highest level to make sure that your launches, etc., go the way you would like for them to go. All right. So I know that was a lot of information. So I encourage you to just take a moment and go back. But I felt like those 3 questions really all kind of fit together in terms of, at what point do I hire somebody? How many people do I hire? And do I need them consistently throughout the year? Or do I just need them on a project basis? Like, those are really big things to consider before you go out and hire a team. Take it from me, someone who has made massive mistakes in hiring. You want to take some time to really get clear on the answers to this, because obviously if you hire someone, there are some compensation things to consider. You also want to make sure, there's a lot of effort and time that goes into the hiring process. So you want to make sure that that's time well spent and resources well spent, depending on where you are at that point in your business. And so I just want to let you know that I do have a new, our second. The first one went so very well. I'm really excited about our next Ask and Answer with Dr. Nadia session. So if you have questions like this, you're like, Dr. Nadia, I have more questions about some of the things that you've been talking about in your videos. Well, guess what? You have the opportunity to join me for our next Ask and Answer session, which will be September 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That is an opportunity for you to get your questions answered We do still have one love seat available. So if you want to ask me your question live, you can totally do that. We will be on camera, just want to let you know. You can do that. Head on over to askdrnadia.com. That's askdrnadia.com. And you can then register. And once you register in your, I believe it's in your confirmation email, you'll have a link if you want to apply for a love seat, or if you just want to submit a question. So if you can't attend live, you can still submit a question. I'll make sure to answer the question, and then you'll receive the recording so you can get an answer to your question. So again, if you have any questions, whether it's about building your team, or maybe you're like, you know what, Dr. Nadia, I'm not even at that point yet. Really trying to figure out like how to close the sale, or what do I say in my sales conversations, or whatever the case may be. Head on over to askdrnadia.com. You can either submit your question, or you can ask it live. So the way it works is I'll have 3 entrepreneurs that'll do their love seats, and then any time left over, I'll just take questions from those other attendees or entrepreneurs that are on. You just want to post a question, or maybe something that someone says sparks a question. So I invite you to join us. Again, that'll be on September 14th. That's on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I look forward to seeing you there. And again, you can register at askdrnadia.com. All right, this is another episode of Straight Talk About Sales with Dr. Nadia. I am signing off now. Take some time, map things out, get ready for 2019, and identify who you need on your sales team. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.